All right, guys, so this is the last project of the course, and I think that there's some really cool, unique things in this project. It's called Bookmark, and it's basically a landing page for like a bookmark manager software or application. And I like the look of it. I think it looks pretty clean. And we have at the top the nav bar here, and on smaller screens, we're going to make it into a hamburger menu. We click it, and we get this overlay. The bookmark logo and the X, we're going to change that and turn that white so that we can see it better. And then we just have our menu items. And we will have smooth scrolling. So if I click on features, it takes me down to that part. If I click on download or FAQ, it'll take me down to those sections. So then we have this hero area where this image has this background right here, this blue line, and that's only going to be on large screens. If we go under the large breakpoint, then everything is just going to be stacked and we're not going to have that background. And then down here we have some tabs, and we're actually going to make these tabs function. So we're going to add some vanilla JavaScript to do that. All right, and we also have this background as well on large screens, on small screens. That's not going to show. All right, and then we have the download boxes. So Chrome, Firefox, Opera. We have a little bit of an offset, so they're kind of going at a diagonal direction. And then we have these frequently asked questions, which is pretty cool because we can click on one, it shows us the text. If we click on another one, it'll close the other one and show us the new one. And we're not even going to have to write any JavaScript for this functionality. We can do it all with just Tailwind classes, and we can use the group class along with group focus and group hover to create this functionality. And then down here, we just have this newsletter area with a form, and then we have the footer with the logo, the menu items, and some social icons with the hover effect. All right, so that's what we'll be creating. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we're going to get set up for the bookmark website. So let's go ahead and create in website projects. We're going to copy over a simple Tailwind starter, and then we're going to give that a new name. So I'm going to rename it to bookmark, and then let's open that up with VS Code, and let's get the image assets that we need. So that's going to be from the Tailwind projects, and then all project assets, and then bookmark. And then we're just going to want to bring this images folder, bring that right into the root, copy it, and let's go to index.html, and we'll go ahead and rename this to, just say bookmark website. And then let's open up our integrated terminal. We're going to npm run watch to run the Tailwind CLI, and then we'll use live server to open this. All right, now as far as configurations go, we don't have much. We're just going to add our screens. So let's add a screens object here, and small screens, we're going to do 480. So kind of the defaults that I like to use. So medium will be 768 pixels, and large will be 1020 pixels, and then extra large will be 1440 pixels. And then for colors, we have some custom colors we want to use. So I'm going to grab those. And those are soft blue, soft red, grayish blue, and very dark blue. And then the font for this, we're going to use Rubik. So let's say font family and set that to an object. And then for sans, we're going to set Rubik. So RUBIK, sans serif. And that should be it. Now we want to get the Rubik font, so I'm going to go to Google Fonts and just clear anything I have over here. And let's search for Rubik. Okay, so it's right here. And then let's see, for the sizes we want, or for the styles, we want 400, which is going to be regular. So we're going to select that, and then we're going to get, let's see, bold, which is what, 700. So actually, let's get semi-bold too. So we're going to grab those and then just grab this link. Okay, we'll put that right here and paste that in, and we should be good to go. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to start on the nav bar here, or the header, whatever you want to call it. We're not going to do the hamburger menu. Maybe we will do the hamburger menu, just because we've already done it. So there's some things we can just copy and paste in. So we'll get started on the header and navigation next. All right, guys, so now we're going to work on the nav, or the header, whatever you want to call it, and only the version on medium screen. So this right here. The hamburger menu we're going to do a little later when we get to our other JavaScript, because we have some other JavaScript for these tabs and so on. All right, so this, obviously we're going to use flex. We're going to justify the space between the logo and the menu items. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I do want to add on the body, I'm going to add a class of overflow. So overflow-x-hidden. And I'm adding that because later on when we add the, let me just show you. So this image right here, which it extends out, it extends to the right, and it's going to want to add a scroll bar so that we can see the whole thing, that whole area. And obviously we don't want that. So putting the overflow x hidden just means it'll hide the scroll bars that go horizontal. All right, so let's go into this H1 here, and let's go ahead and add our nav tag here. And I'm going to give this a class of container and relative, and let's do mx-auto, and padding we'll do 6 all the way around. Then we have our main flex container, so we'll say flex container for nav items. And our nav items are going to be the logo and the menu. So let's do a class of flex, and we'll do items dash center and justify dash between, and space between items we'll do 20, and let's do margin on the y-axis 6. Okay, so in here we're going to have our logo, and then we're going to have the menu items. So for the logo, I'm going to wrap this in a div with the class of z30, which will raise the z index. And the reason for that is because we want the logo to always stay on top of the mobile menu, this blue here. We don't want it to be behind it when we get to that. So we're going to wrap it in that, and then have just an image. We're going to give it an ID of logo, because we are going to grab onto it in the JavaScript. Because notice this logo is dark, and then when we have the blue overlay, it turns white. So we're actually going to have 2 separate logos, and we need to switch those, so we need an ID. And then let's link this to images, and then logo bookmark SVG. All right, so if we take a look, we should see our logo. And then for the menu items, let's go down here and let's create a div. We'll do items dash center. In fact, let's do hidden first. So it's going to be display hidden because it's only going to show on medium screen. So it'll start off hidden. And then on medium screens, it'll be flex. That's why I'm doing item center. And we'll do space x10. And let's make them all uppercase. And the text color will do, let's say, text grayish blue. And then on medium screens, we're going to display it as flex. All right, so if I put anything in here, if I put hello, we won't see it on small screens, but once we hit medium, we should see that. So as far as the items go, we're just going to have A tags with a class of, let's say, tracking-widest. So that's the letter spacing. And then on hover, we want the text to be soft red, which is a custom color we have. Okay, and this is going to go to ID features. And we'll say down here, features. And then we'll just copy this down. This next one is going to be download. And let's see, ID is going to be download. And then this one here is going to be FAQ. And we'll change this to FAQ as well. So if we save that, we make this a little bigger, it should look like this. We also want to add this login button onto it. So under the last A tag, we're going to create another A tag, and we're going to just add on to this a few extra classes. So PX8, let's do PY2, and text is going to be white. The background is going to be soft red. We'll do border 2, and let's do border dash soft red, and we'll do rounded, let's see, rounded LG, and let's do shadow dash medium. And then on hover, we're going to do a text of soft red. Yeah, we'll do text soft red. I forgot my T. And then also on hover, we're going to want the background to be white. And I think that should do it. Let's try that out. So inside here, we'll put login. All right, cool. So like I said, the hamburger menu, we're going to do that a little later when we get into our other JavaScript. So in the next video, we're going to start on this hero section here. So we have the content or text, we have an image, and then we have this other background image SVG. So we're going to get working on that next.